Today's review is a collaboration project. This is a Verdant even, and Beak collab, and it is their Teamwurk IPA at 6.5%. Plus, seems like a while, but here's some nuts that are going to accompany this beer today. So it's a true teamwork effort. Keep on watching to see what I think of both of these lovely drinks and snacks. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing another beer by Verdant. We've had quite a few Verdant this last sort of couple of weeks, but this is a collab with Beak, and you can see Beak must be sort of leading this because it's their artwork on the can, and this is called Teamwurk, obviously because it's a collaboration, and it's an IPA at 6.5%. Let's quickly read what it says. It says this super fluffy IPA was brewed for the return leg of our collaboration with the lovely people at Verdant. Ella, Citra and Sabro combined for flavours of bergamot, grapefruit and orange, all amplified by gentle, juicy acidity. So I'm not quite sure what bergamot is. Bergamot? I've heard the name, but I couldn't for the life of me think what sort of fruit that is. I presume it's a fruit. Something else. So if there's something weird in it, I'll put it down to that being that. And also I picked these up from my local Aldi, and I thought, well, it's been a while since I reviewed a snack. And these are the Walker's Max Strong, but these are double coated peanuts, chili and lime. So we'll check those out as well. Well, let's get the beer into the glass and start with that, shall we? Just sort of wet the whistle, as it were, and then we'll have some nuts with that. So I mean, Beak and Verdant both make cracking beers, basically IPAs. I don't really have as much Beak as I do maybe Verdant, but you know, anything I've had from them has been good. I mean, beer in a glass. It's another beautiful looking beer. I mean, we're getting a lot of these sort of yellowy, custardy looking beers. We got basically a finger of white compacted head, very yellow, very thick and cloudy. Looks pretty good. Let's see what the aromas are like. Oh, it smells really, really fresh, really fruity. You know, sometimes you think, oh, you know, I feel worried because I pour it out. I think this is going to be great. I'm going to sniff it and I go, yeah, it's going to get all those aromas that we normally get. Probably flavours the same. It's like, am I repeating myself? But there's a real difference in aroma with this one. It's got a real sweet tangerine sort of aroma. And there's something else in there. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm not picking up, and remember from the hops, the Sabro, I'm not picking up that sort of coconutty aroma. I'm picking up a lot of orange, ripe, sweet orange, melon even, pineapple, there's citrus fruits. There's all lots of citrusy tropicalness in it as well. But, you know, one thing is getting the mouth watering, so I can't wait to tuck in. So cheers, everyone. Oh, that's really good. A real, yeah. And again, I'm thinking in my mind, Sabro, you know, I look at Sabro, I think, oh, you know, sometimes I love it, sometimes I like it, sometimes I can't, it's too much. I think it's really about the brew. The Sabro, there's just sort of a slight whiff of it, really. A very sweet, peachy orange, pineapple, there's melon in there, there's something else, almost like a gooseberry or something like that in there. I'm not quite sure what the was it Ella, the other hop? Yeah, not quite sure. I have had Ella before in beers, but it's not something that's of quite common, you know, in terms of beers, so I'm not quite sure what that brings. There's also a sort of rose, that sort of Turkish delight, sort of perfumey sort of flavour in it. But it's just, it's very well merged with the tropicalness of it all. Lovely and soft mouthfeel. Creamy. And I'm picking up a little bit more. The Sabro, so I pick up a little more of that sweet pineapple and limes. There's a lot of lime flavour in here as well. Yeah, and there's that sort of sweet coconutty sort of part of the Sabro, but it's dialed right back. It's almost like it's almost like the flavours that you get from the Sabro, almost like the sister hop or the cousin or whatever you want to call it of the Sabro, the Talus. There's a more that sort of flavour in there. Sabro is kept well in check. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the citrus sort of flavours in it, but it's really good. Creamy, soft, really fruity and juicy. It's a cracking beer. I mean, again, it's, you know, they're two great breweries, so you'd expect it to be good, you know, but this is a great beer, actually. This is one of the better IPAs I've had. Lots going on. Smooth, juicy, fruity. I think I've said enough about it. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Teamwurk by Verdant and Beak. But before I do the scores, I was enjoying the beer so much, completely forgot about the nuts. So let's crack the nuts open and see what these are all about. So Max Strong, I'm expecting them to be very spicy. I'm sure I haven't had these before, but when I open them here, I think, yeah, it looks familiar. This was a big bag, £1, this was. And I say it's chili and lime, so I'm expecting it to be quite spicy. They're obviously the coated ones, so you can see they're like double coated. If I bite into them, the coating's there, and then it's a sort of nut in there. Yeah, they're tasty. I expect them to be a bit more spicier. Oh, it's just perfect with beer on them as well. I didn't notice that. Yeah, I mean, they're good. They're crunchy. Sometimes they can be a bit, sometimes these sort of nuts can be a bit hard, but they're quite crisp. It's like a crisp outing to a nut. Yeah, a little bit disappointed that they're not overly spicy. I thought they were going to be really spicy. There's chili and lime. They also had a jalapeno pepper ones. I didn't pick them up. I'll probably get them next week. Yeah, nice. Nice, but nothing overly special, really. So anyway, let's get on with scores. Aroma. Well, as soon as I popped it over, I could start smelling that aroma. And it's a real juicy, fruity, sort of tropical mixed bowl of all those sort of tropical fruits. Pineapple, melon, bit of mango even. It's difficult to pick out those things. I think pineapple is probably the bigger aroma, really, but there's just lots of quite fruity, tropical aromas in there. And it smelled very sort of fresh and juicy, and so that got your mouth taste buds going. So I think it's pretty damn good for aroma. I'm going to give it 15. Appearance, well, I mean, the amount of times I say, oh, looks a cracking looking beer. It's yellow, it's murky, not much of a head. It's pretty much gone down. It looks good, but I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. We have so many of these, it's difficult to start giving them too high, otherwise every score will be high, but I'm giving it an 8 for appearance. Flavour-wise, well, I like the aromas, lots of tropical sort of flavours. There is a slight, something a bit different in there. That, when it says that bergamot, whatever that is, maybe that's it. But you are getting lots of juicy, sweet orange and peach. It says grapefruit. There's a slight grapefruit, but I still think it's more pineapple than grapefruit, really. And then there's sort of limes in there quite a lot. The Sabro is very well in check in terms of flavour-wise. It doesn't overly dominate. There's a little bit of sweetness, but it's not as coconutty as a lot of times when you use Sabro. And it doesn't have that real sort of big, sort of creamy mint sort of flavour. Yes, there's quite a bit of lime in there, but there's a lot of beers that we're having that have got that lime sort of flavour in it as well. Certainly wrapped up in a very soft, easy to drink, creamy almost mouthfeel. So I'm going to get 35 for flavour. Value for money. Well, I think this was £5.50 I paid for this. So not the cheapest. I'm giving it yeah, I mean, it's a 6.5% IPA. I think it's actually a bit more than that. I think it might even be nearly £5.95, so a little bit more. I'm dropping it down a point to 7 for value. And then my overall experience, well, I mean, it's a great beer. It's soft, it's creamy. There's lots of sweet citrus fruits and tropical fruits. It's difficult to really pick out, but it's just smooth, and It's not too earthy. There's no sort of, it's not too grassy. There's no bitterness in there. There's no pininess really. It's just spot on. Lots of fruity flavours. If you like your IPAs fruity and hop forward, then this is a cracking beer. I'm going to get 15 for my overall experience. Tying those scores up, we get just about a highly recommended 80 out of 100. It's a really good score. It's a good beer. But, you know, when you're looking at beers from Beak and Verdant, you know it's going to be good. You put them together and it's even better. So that's my review today. Hope you enjoyed it. As I say, Max Strong Nuts, they're not bad, but they're just nuts. There's nothing exciting about them. I thought there'd be something a bit interesting, but they're very run of the mill. They're not as spicy as you'd hope they'd be. But you know, they go well with a beer, so I'm going to sit and enjoy both of them now. And until the next video, you know what you're going to do. Keep on rocking.